So yeah, we'll talk about your social and upliftment initiatives that you've been involved in. I've been doing a bit of stalking on you, googling you, and I saw that you were involved in the launch of the LGBT Business Network, as well as the Other Foundation. Tell us a bit about those two and why.
So we're doing a number of things. So I think, but it's always because people are. I think some things people have asked, some things I've asked to get into.
Yeah.
Two powers that are more social, the Other Foundation and Gauteng Opera, and one is human rights and one is art. And Other Foundation obviously human rights and art, and I think those are two interests that I've always had. So the Other Foundation is a almost 4-year organization. Started really as a grant making organization into the LGBTI sector to grow the sector, support people who are activists and
definitely
doing the work. And I was able to Ben nominated me to be a trustee. The first trustees who started the organization obviously tend to move, and then they have a new board.
What does it mean to be a trustee?
And the trustees are sort of the governance of the organization. So they are the leadership of the organization. They're the people who set up the vision, and then in the natural sense of things, a corporation has a board of trustees or a board of what do you call it? It's not board of directors, and those are the people who watch over the organization for the interests of everybody. So you'll have an organization that has a bank, for example, or a company. Has employees, has lenders, have customers, and somebody's gotta take a responsibility to guard those interests, govern whatever. And that's the part of it. So, and the vision of the organization, where it's going. And then they select, and these are the people who are the custodians of the organization. And then you will have a CEO that they go and hire a CEO that will implement that, because trustees don't take in the organization, and they run that, and they. And
so the trustees are more the strategizers, the
guardians.
Yes, they give them the ideas.
The guardians, and then the CEO is the person who is responsible to make this thing happen. And so the CEO goes out and then hires everybody else to make sure this thing runs, and they implement. So basically, you have the trustees or the directors hand over the responsibility to the CEO. They are responsible to do the stuff because they're like, well, you're not going to be able to do it, but you do it, and come back every quarter to report how you are doing this. And many times when we watch how bad some things we've seen on TV, for example, like the SOEs, the failure not so much with the CEOs but for the boards, because they are the ones who are supposed to make sure things are going well and they're running well, because they are really entrusted with the interests of shareholders and employees and society as a whole. So the organization does really interesting work. It is run on pillars. So the strategy is run on pillars.
This is the Other Foundation.
The Other Foundation. On different pillars. About expanding the field, which is about making sure that there are more people in the field, deepening the field. This is part of research, making sure that you are creating substance in the field. There is safe cities, which is the one I'm interested in, which is basically that all of us are safe at work in our cities. The crass part, of course, is that LGBT people are always in danger. Lesbians are getting killed, raped. People don't feel safe at work to express who
themselves. Definitely.
And those kinds of things. So that's a level of safety. And we have to build a society that is much more open, that's much more accepting, but vibrant in terms of diversity and all of that. So, and that is the part where, because also, business and all of that, I guess it sort of was much more attractive to me. We all do different things. Some trustees, for example, there's work that's being done in the religious sector, and some people are very much more interested in that. As I talk about research, we've done some research work. I've been involved in that because I like research, but other people who are much more in terms of academics and research might be more interested. So because there's different kinds of work, and we are responsible, of course, to participate as much as we can, to support the work of the organization as much as we can. So I'll participate in what you mentioned now in terms of setting up the two parts of that. There is the business network, that's more really for small business network, but also the networks that happen within big corporations that people are forming, and hopefully all of them become one thing that is much more powerful and can change policy, can convince companies and persuade them to move closer. Already the legislation exists in South Africa in terms of the Companies Act, Work and Governance, obviously the Constitution. Now it's about making sure that you convince people to move closer and closer.
How are you going about that? Because I was reading specifically with the other foundation, they literally look at the LGBT community and also, basically how marginalized they are.
Grant making is this. So people give us funding and we say to them, we're going to go and support all the activists and organizations that are doing this work of creating an open, safe society. And then people apply for grants, and every single grant is looked at.
So the other foundation's like a channel.
Yeah, so we're going to raise the funding, and then we pass it on, and then we monitor it, and then we do convenings where you have activists working and learning from each other. Even the grant making part of it is about learning. So there's what we call peer review mechanism.
Yeah.
So at a grant, when people apply, and then decision making of the grants, there are other activists and other people who apply to come in and review each other. And in reviewing each other's applications or proposals, obviously they get to learn themselves, right? Because I think that's the thing. When you criticize somebody else, you get an opportunity to also look at yourself. Most times, not all the time. But so that's the thing, but it's about really creating a more, and we are Southern African, so there's most countries in Southern Africa we operate in.
Yeah.
So sometimes
No, it's really important. We need to spread the word of a really inclusive society, because violence is not even just in the physical sense, like you were saying, with the killing of lesbians, but it's also in the underlying tones of when you're in conversation with people and they marginalize someone of a particular group.
Sure.
So it's very important that we just really build that inclusive society. So
absolutely. I think in an interesting way, we have talked a lot about, for example, including women, in business. And because we are missing something. No society ever actually grows or succeeds without the best of its people and everybody participating. And we are seeing that now growing in terms of women finally being able to have a voice. Because now we can get their ideas and their being, because before we only had a bunch of men running this thing, and I don't think we did very well. And now that we're having a much more diverse society where young people, for example, a young man who's afraid to say anything because maybe his voice squeaks or whatever, we're losing out on that talent, on that idea, and we don't want to do that. It's the same thing we've lost on the ideas of women, what women could bring to society, what gay people can bring, lesbians, trans people can. Because our society will only be at its best, I think, when we have everybody participating and doing the best they can.
Beautiful.
I think that's the whole thing about even GDP. Like, we're not growing actually, not so much for any other reason except there are so many people outside. If we had them inside, we'd be doing really, really well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this conversation. It's been really, really awesome. I want you to tell people where they can find you in terms of your company, what you're doing, Instagram, what would you like to share?
Okay, so we're doing a lot of work, and I think maybe over time we're going to bring it closer together. A lot of the stuff that we are trying to do now will be on our website. So we are research and strategy business, and we are doing some really important work that we're going to be announcing shortly on enterprise development. But I was telling about something we call Nascence resources, to work with entrepreneurs to lend our resources. Remember, businesses think they need one thing, but sometimes they just need a thinking process. Sometimes they think they need funding, but maybe they need to further work on their market.
Okay.
Who's your market, how you can do that. So we're doing some of that work and some of the support that we can give. That's important. We do, obviously, research, we do strategy. We get asked by businesses of all sorts in terms of thinking through their strategies, the work that they want to do, how to package, how to think about your stakeholders. Because any strategy, especially when you are inside a business, this is something that we have taken also, is that even though we say we do research and strategy, we need other people to look from an angle outside and help us sort of think it through. So that's that. So you can visit our website at
what's your website?
nar.co.za.com.
I know your website.
nar.za.com. On Twitter, I'm Xhanti Payi at Xhanti Payi. I have
sure you've seen that name.
Instagram. So yeah, and in all the publications we will be able to find ourselves, especially the business publications, sort of try and put out thoughts and ideas and all of that stuff.
Awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Please continue. But I know there's nothing that's going to stop you, so.
Well, we'll see.
Give me a call if you want to quit.
Call. 10 million rand. Stop me, I'll take it.
Sure, thank you so much, Xhanti.
It's been my pleasure.
So Xhanti is the first catalyst that we've literally profiled. I've been looking at this man and what he's doing, and he really inspires me. So we'll have more people. Really hard bar to follow after him. But make sure that you tune into our website. It's www.theyoungcatalyst.co.za. We also have a YouTube page that you can subscribe to, and also go to Facebook as well, The Young Catalyst. We're building a network of world changers here, so be a part of it. Sharp.